Alright, hello guys, in this video we're going to be talking about a pattern change that's going to bring a lot of cold to the central and eastern United States, so stay tuned for that. Before I get started with the video though, I would ask that you would subscribe to this channel if you do like weather related content, and also make sure to like the video if you do like the video, that way I know what kind of content you guys want me to bring. Anyway, let's get right into it. Looking at the temperature pattern before the 10th. Now, this is comparatively to normal on temperature anomalies. So this is the anomalies from normal. So keep in mind the blue colors doesn't mean that you'll necessarily be cold if you live in, for instance, Nevada, but you will be colder than your average. And if you're warm and let's say you live in the mountains of California, well, that doesn't mean you'll necessarily be warm. You'll just be warmer than average. So keep that in mind. So the pattern before the 10th looks to keep these cold temperatures here in the central United States, the northern and central United States. And that kind of dips down south into the Oklahoma, Kansas area, but not going too far south there. And that's kind of taking over a wide area there. Very, very cold temperatures here, up to 10 degrees below average over these next 5 days here until the 10th. So very cold. And then we're going to have that really big southeast ridge. And a lot of people didn't know what that meant in my last video. That I mentioned that people were asking like, oh, what is a southeast ridge, like why are you saying this? In really basic terms, it kind of just means that it's going to be warmer than normal there in the southeast, and we call this a southeast ridge because it happens every once in a while, so we do have a name for it because it is pretty common. So yeah, we're going to have a pretty strong one of those, and it's going to bring really warm temperatures, especially tomorrow and the next day going into Tuesday. That's really going to bring 70s, up into some areas like North Carolina, Virginia. Really strange for this time of year, so very, very warm there. And then there's a little bit of blob of above normal temperatures there for California. But that one's not as serious. So looking at the pattern before the 10th, we see this low pressure system that's going to bring its way all the way from Washington down through the mountains, bringing a lot of mountain snow. They've been getting snow every single day, so this isn't anything out of the normal, but snow could get pretty heavy there, but for the most part, showers for most low-lying areas. Some low-lying areas in there won't have snow, but for the most part, almost everywhere in that blue area will have snow. And then in that pink area, we have a possible snowstorm that I'm watching in the next couple of days, so we're going to keep an eye on that one. There could be a snowstorm for that area, quite substantial, actually 4 inches plus, so definitely going to want to keep an eye on that because this isn't an area that typically gets snow like that in November, too typically at least, so it's going to be kind of special there if we can get a snowstorm to happen with this low pressure system, but we're not quite sure yet. And then that green area on the eastern United States, we're looking at stormy conditions there, really going to have a cold front come through and bring a lot of thunderstorms for pretty much areas, I think south of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, anywhere south of there. I think you're looking at thunderstorms, a good line of thunderstorms with that cold front. That's Tuesday. And then just some rain besides that, showers every once in a while, and possibly a nor'easter as well before the 10th. And here's your temperatures after the 10th, though. And we see these cold temperatures move further east. Okay, so they move from the central United States into the eastern United States and some of the central United States still. And it's still very cold temperatures. This is the strongest trough we've had since earlier this year, so it's kind of a big deal. And we see a little bit of a ridge there in the western United States, but I think for the most part, everywhere is going to kind of have average or below average temperatures, just a little bit of a good chance there for slightly above average temperatures, but not anything too seriously. We're looking really cold here for November, at least till the middle portion here at least. So yeah, moving forward though, we see our surface pattern for that after the 10th as well, and this is where things get really interesting, and I know this is overwhelming, so I'm going to break it down. This looks a lot like my overall forecast for my monthly and seasonal forecasts. It's really quite beautiful looking, actually, if I do say so myself. Things get quiet there for the western United States. You're not really going to have a jet bringing anything on shore, so not looking at a lot of precipitation there, at least from the 10th till middle of November. Not a big deal. Again, in my November forecast, I was calling for an off and on pattern kind of for the western United States, and so far that looks to verify. But we do say that northern jet dip in somewhere from in Montana or the Dakotas, and that's going to dip all the way down into the Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia area and kind of come off the coast, and that's going to kind of merge with a southern jet there that's coming from Texas and Mexico, and that's going to bring itself across the Gulf and merge here. And it's going to have a merge jet going up the eastern United States there where those two merge, and this is really what we'd call a dangerous setup here because when those two merge, you like to see low pressure systems track up the eastern United States, and with that cold in place, we could be looking at potential snowstorms here, and I'm talking serious snowstorms. So we're gonna have to keep a close eye on this one and see if everything comes together perfectly, and if it does, we could be looking at some serious nor'easters on the east coast here by mid-November. So we're gonna keep a very close eye on that. So possibly multiple nor'easters here in that green area. That blue area is where we're gonna see coldest air so far of the year, like I said, since earlier this year. Possible first major lake event here. As that cold air moves over, I expect the lakes to get very active and start dropping snow actually in those lake effect areas, those areas where you expect lake effect snow. You could be expecting some here, pretty substantial amount. This is hard to forecast far out how much lake effect snow you'll get, but we know that it is looking favorable for those lake effect bands to set up. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that, and then multiple chances for snow here in New England in that white area. Like I said, with that merger jet right there, definitely looking at some big threats. I think that could even be dipped down into a little bit of New Jersey and Pennsylvania there actually. I think that there's a pretty good shot at snowstorms there by mid-November, so we're going to keep a very close eye. Again, these things are a little bit far out, so your accuracy here is looking at, 60-70%, so there is that slim chance that this doesn't pan out, but usually in my videos where I've called things this far out, it's really verified quite well, so you can expect moderate confidence with this. Moderate confidence would be the right terms here. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you have a great day.